Coming up next, On the Spot. You like fighting? Today's show brings you live demos for SoulCalibur V on the Xbox 360 and SoulCalibur on the iOS. Yeah. Earlier this week, Namco held their community tournament celebrating SoulCalibur V, and we have the highlights to prove it. Next, this week's Vocabularium defines some fighting terms for you noobs out there. We get the latest digital downloads. We're live and on the spot.
Everybody in internet land, welcome to another live episode of On the Spot. I am your host for this week, Shaun McInnis, filling in for Chris Waters, who's out with a collection of maladies. I believe the list includes acute malaria, an elbow injury he sustained while rollerblading, and also he became unstuck in time. We think he's in ancient Egypt.
See, the way I think this happened is he had some sort of rad, like, 1980s time traveling rollerblades.
Okay,
He then went back to ancient Egypt and contracted malaria.
Right, because he went to that witch doctor's garage sale.
That's right.
And bought them.
He, I mean, it's ancient Egypt. You got to go to ancient Egypt. You're going to see the pyramids. You're going to see the ancient witch doctor.
We've got a great show coming up today. It's all fighting themed, and we've also got this super rad prize to give away, this Grand Theft Auto 3 10th anniversary mug, which, as you can tell, has a very interesting handle on it. So this could be yours. Stay tuned for trivia at the end of the show. We've got Maxwell, McGee, and Peter Brown here to kick it off with a little bit of SoulCalibur V.
We are. We're going to be taking a look at SoulCalibur V, obviously the 5th entry in the SoulCalibur series, hence its name. Let's go ahead and jump into the footage here. Peter and I are just on the character select screen. So we'll go ahead and introduce Ezio. He is the special guest character for this this episode of SoulCalibur. Last time they had Darth Vader and Yoda, which some people thought was kind of an
weird.
Odd pairing.
Yeah.
Ezio definitely fits into the like 15th century European style they're going for. So I'm gonna pick Ezio. You also have a lot of. They're kind of pulling a Street Fighter Third Strike on us with this game. They have a lot of characters who have similar movesets to previous SoulCalibur combatants, but they look different.
All right.
So you have like, there's like a Taki character. You may remember Taki. She was like the ninja in like the red skin suit. That was kind of revealing. Now you have a slightly younger sort of version of Taki named Natsu, who shares some of Taki's abilities, but is a little bit different in her own way. Mitsurugi is pretty much just straight up same old Mitsurugi. Still incredibly powerful, great at any distance, likes to poke me in the feet. Ezio, he's a lot of fun because if I could remember how to do my moves, he has a lot of moves that incorporate his crossbow and his like wrist-mounted gun. I assume that's a gun. You've played.
It is.
It's been a while since I played Assassin's Creed.
It's a wrist-mounted gun. It seems to be a lot more reliable here than it's ever been in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Just a reminder to you folks out there, if you have any questions about anything that's going on in the show, or even what Maxwell puts in his hair every morning, feel free to jump into the live chat room or tweet us to @GameSpot. We've got community manager Cynthia there, standing by to take your questions.
So some other additions to SoulCalibur V, we'll go back, I'll show you guys some more of the new characters here in a sec, but there's also this super special meter that you see next to my life bar. This meter allows me to get chopped in the face and immediately get knocked out. As you can see, I'm up to 1, so that means I need to lose 1 round.
Okay.
No, the meter does a number of things. The most flashy are these critical edge attacks. These are like basically like your supers or your ultras in a Street Fighter game. They have little cinematics that accompany them. They do a decent amount of damage, and they cost 1 bar of that meter you see next to your health. Other things you can do with the meter are parrying. If I press back, and in this case right trigger, you just saw it there, the little green flash iconic of a parry. That will allow me to block incoming attacks if I time it correctly, which I never do. Obviously, it does not parry throws, though. It does use about 1/4 of the meter. You can no longer just parry for free, which some people are upset about.
Well, I mean, like the old saying goes, there's no such thing as a free parry.
No free parries in this life.
Lunch. Free parry lunch.
Yeah, I remember that old saying growing up. Oh, growing
up in the deep south, they used to say that all the time.
Everybody, So parry. Oh yeah, there are also moves that can inherently parry.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Ezio has any, and if he does, I don't know where they are. But most characters have a move that when you start to perform it, they go into an
literally
animation.
Punch the shirt off of Mitsurugi.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically it was a half shirt, but you punched it off.
Oh
anyways.
goodness, look at that. Oh, but see, now the fight's over. We don't get to see those luscious man pecs.
But we can pick a new character, for example, Voldo, and see something else luscious.
Look at that. Voldo's still in the game. They didn't get a weird replacement
Look at that
of Voldo.
angle. That is just a delightful
Just
angle.
drink it in.
What would you
he's
call
not
that?
embarrassed.
Underjunk? Maybe?
Yes. I think that is the scientific term if you were to go on Wikipedia, which we'll edit right after the show.
Oh, great.
We'll call it underjug.
Setting a high standard for the rest of the show, I think.
But yeah, so like I said, there's Natsu. She's like Taki, except different. They do that with a lot of the
characters. Makes me
characters.
so uncomfortable, but I'm oddly compelled to look at.
He's very.
It's like mesmerizing.
There's
it's
so
that
much
slow dance walk thing.
There's just so much. There's so much depth to the creepiness of Baldo's character because you look at it and you realize like his pants are assless. So
yeah, he's got assless chaps, but they're technically like furry.
He's just bare back
like
back there.
Pants.
And then he does the weird creepy moonwalk. He can go down on all fours and crawl around on the ground.
Oh.
He's got things covering up his eyes and mouth.
Oh,
This I mean, bad life choices. Really,
no,
is what it all comes down to.
Or great life choices. Because we're talking about him, right?
It's very postmodern,
Yeah,
perhaps.
I think so. To change the subject to something slightly less creepy, there's a story mode in this game, right?
There is a story mode. We can take a look at that after this too. The story mode is, how to put it? It's hilariously bad.
Okay.
No, that's too rough. It's campy.
Yeah.
It's definitely very.
It's a
campy.
story mode in a fighting game.
We'll say it takes itself perhaps a little too seriously.
Okay.
And the main character may be a murderous psychopath, who
right.
they kind of try to play off as like a sympathetic victim of circumstance.
Okay. We've got a message from Cynthia. Users are asking for flower action. I don't know what that means. Is that a
Flower
thing?
action. I'm unfamiliar.
Okay. Users
will need to specify.
Specify what flower action means and whether or not that's a terrible euphemism.
Also, Voldo, he fights standing backwards if he wants to.
It's ew. I feel weird.
So in addition to the critical edges that we saw earlier, there are also brave edge attacks, which are sort of like... Oh goodness, I'm about to get lit up. There are brave edge attacks, which use about a quarter of the meter as well, and those are similar to like the EX moves in like a Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
So they're like enhanced versions of normal attacks. They do a little extra damage and can leave your opponent vulnerable to follow-up attacks.
Right.
But I do not know any of Voldo's. I'm just showing him off the front.
Delightful.
Get your Natsu, just like talking, can teleport all over the screen. Peter loves to do that. It drives me crazy. She's very highly mobile, very deadly.
All right, let's see if Natsu can finish Voldo off.
I know, here we are entering it. Also, some of the stages have this boat stage. This is like there's like a daytime boat stage as well that transitions to different parts of the ship. There are level transitions in some of these arenas. So in the daytime version of this stage, there's like other boats in the background and they're shooting cannonballs and it's all like a big naval warfare scene. And towards the latter part of the match, the deck that we're on will actually get destroyed and we'll drop down into the ship proper.
Interesting.
And I'll get kicked in the face. These are all things that
All
will happen in
right, so I
SoulCalibur.
think that is going to about do it for our SoulCalibur 5 demo, but we're not done with SoulCalibur yet. Like I said, this entire show is fighting themed, and we're going to keep that train rolling with a look at what happened earlier this week at Namco's SoulCalibur 5 launch party / community tournament. Let's have a look.
angry now.
Break apart! Suffer!
See, I will show you the price of justice. Stay down. Not yet. Don't get in my way.
Excellent.
All right, folks, and there you have it. That was some highly competitive footage from some of the best SoulCalibur 5 players that Namco sort of hand-picked from various tournaments in the past. So if you want to look for any, strategies or tips on how to play, take a look at some of that footage. We've got an even bigger piece on the site right now. Peter, we've got more SoulCalibur 5 happening, right? Or not 5, but SoulCalibur.
Yeah, it's the original SoulCalibur. Namco ported it to iOS. You've got to have either iPad 2 or the iPhone 4.
Okay.
And this is supposed to be a faithful recreation of the Dreamcast version. And it's pretty close, aside from the fact that there is no versus mode.
Ooh.
It's kind of one player.
Okay.
And obviously the touch controls.
It might get a little cramped if you were trying to get two people to crowd around an iPad. Like, I'm going to use this top half of the screen and you use the bottom half of the screen.
That could get tricky.
It's a little tricky. So everything looks to be at a higher resolution than the original Dreamcast version.
Okay.
People remember the Dreamcast had a VGA option. So it's quite possible these are all from that version, and this is just sort of like enabled on the higher res screen. So, frame rate wise, everything looks pretty good. The game plays surprisingly better than you'd expect.
I know. I expected. I got to play this a little bit before the show started, and I expected the worst from like the digital thumbstick that you use in there.
Generally, I despise virtual controllers because they are just almost universally terrible. But you're actually telling me that this one is not absolutely terrible?
It's not too bad, and I think that has to do with the fact that there's a lot of limited movement.
Okay.
The stick responds well enough, and that kind of handles it. The buttons themselves work fine, and there's a responsiveness.
Well,
So,
in the SoulCalibur games, you're not doing a lot of the complex motions with the stick that you're doing in, say, a Street Fighter game, where you're trying to do like a zigzag, or you're trying to do half circles and full circles.
at the most, it's like up and down or back and forth.
Yeah, in SoulCalibur, you just sort of point it in a direction and hit one of the attack buttons.
Now, the big controversy here is has had this game on Xbox Live Arcade for a little while.
Some amount of time.
Yeah, and it's being sold for $10, and that's like the full version of the game. This one is on sale for $12, but will retail for $15, which is high for.
That seems odd.
And I would assume that the cheaper Xbox version has versus.
Exactly, yeah. So especially for something on the App Store too, that price is a little prohibitive for a lot of customers. That being said, it is a pretty full game that might be worth the cost to fans of the series. Sorry about that.
No worries. We've got a user question. They're wondering, how difficult is it to pull off some of the trickier moves in the game?
Trickier moves. Well, I guess that's kind of subjective, but like I was saying, the stick is really responsive. When it comes down to it, you're not really finding yourself, inputting a command and having it not work. Everything I'm trying to do works as I'd expect it to. And granted, I'm not the best SoulCalibur player out there, but that being said, I played a lot of this game, and it feels pretty faithful.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely familiar. Is there any sort of gamepad that you could hook up to the iPad?
Well, there's the iCade thing, which is sort of like
the little joystick.
Yeah, but this doesn't support that yet.
Oh.
For the more tech-savvy users out there are ways to sort of pair Bluetooth controllers with the iPad, but we've not done that with this game, and I can't really speak to that. And I think it's against the terms of service to do that.
So there you go.
So yeah, long story short, no, there's not.
All right.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right, cool. So that was our look at SoulCalibur on the iPad. Next up, we're going to continue our fighting game themed show theme, for lack of a better word, because I like to repeat words all the time. This week's Vocabularium is all about fighting game terminology.
Today's field trip to the Vocabularium is a busy one as we shed light on a three-punch combo of terms used predominantly in fighting games. First up is Rushdown. Rushdown, an offensive fighting style characterized by constant pressure and relentless attacks aimed at overwhelming the opponent. Also, the result of a hyper-aggressive button-mashing offense. If you see a flurry of leaps and strikes that just won't quit, odds are you're seeing a rushdown offense in action. The Vocabularium's real-life application initiative likens this to those aggravating instant message or text conversations in which the person you are chatting with just keeps bombarding you with message after message after message and doesn't let you get a word in edgewise, which is so frustrating, just shut up for 2 seconds. Rushdown. Next up is zoning. Zoning. A fighting tactic used to control the match by limiting your opponent's movement with projectiles, anti-air attacks, and pokes, or short strikes. The idea here is to neutralize all of your opponent's angles of attack, which requires a strong knowledge of the range and priority of both your moves and your opponent's moves. In the workplace, effective zoning means that you deny your pesky coworkers all avenues of communication with you, evading further assignments while still ostensibly doing your job. Zoning. And last but not least, Pringles. Pringles. Derived from the Pringles potato chips slogan, "Once you pop, the fun don't stop." This term describes a move that can easily lead into a lengthy and punishing combo, or a character with many such moves. Can also refer to a player with a weak defense who is prone to lengthy combos. Coined by the competitive fighting game player and commentator IFC Yipes, Pringles is a derisive term, and to be so Pringles is to be taken advantage of and thoroughly defeated. Kind of like when you politely hold the door open for someone only to have an uncanny stream of perfectly timed pedestrians follow them, forcing you to remain at your post until the legion has passed. Pringles.
And now I know what Pringles means. Thank you very much, Chris Waters, for providing us with that vocabularium, despite your series of maladies.
And a very special thanks to Marco for letting us abuse him
Yes.
at the CBS doorway.
It was very kind of Marco to stand and open the door for us while a steady stream of humanity flowed in and out of the building.
So now, I think we're ready to switch over to a new fighting game.
Actually, we will be ready for a new fighting game in a bit. We're going to take a look at Street Fighter Cross Tekken. But first, we've got another segment coming your way. It's time to check out what's happening in the news this week.
January, I'm Tom Magrino. Sony has said openly and plainly that the next PlayStation will not be on hand at E3 in June. Microsoft's been much more cagey on the matter, and there's been no shortage of rumor mongering about the device in recent days. First, the brain, which we will call Oban, mostly because it's being called Oban. Tech site Fudzilla reports that the 32nm CPU has been crafted by IBM and will be fabricated at global foundries. Hang on to that, that's important. We're reportedly looking at a PowerPC CPU here that is integrated with an ATI Southern Islands graphics processor. That GPU is reportedly a modification of ATI's super high-end 7000 series cards. As for timing, Fudzilla claims manufacturing on chips destined for developers' consoles began in December with an estimated delivery date of April. And here's a fun coincidence for you. IBM and Global Foundries announced earlier this month that they have partnered on manufacturing IBM's new 32nm chip. The announcement noted that IBM had recently begun initial production on these chips, and the two companies plan to ramp up production during the second half of 2012. Pretty nice timing should, I don't know, Microsoft decide to launch holiday 2013, don't you think? So why do we think the rumor and the announcement are talking about the same thing? GlobalFoundries said in its official announcement that the chip it's working on, quote, vastly improves microprocessor performance in multi-core designs and speeds the movement of graphics in gaming, networking, and other image-intensive multimedia applications. Rumor number dos. Kotaku reports that its own sources have indicated that the next Xbox will incorporate Sony's Blu-ray disc technology. Notably, Microsoft lost the disc-based HD format war with the Xbox 360 when it was still backing the HD DVD disc. Lest it not be said, Blu-ray discs are high capacity and currently feature prominently in the PlayStation 3. The source also affirmed the previous report that the next Xbox will ship with a new hardware iteration of Kinect. And Microsoft is apparently looking at a smaller controller, though why you would fiddle with perfection is beyond me. Okay, those bits, fine, well, and I'll go ahead and say expected. One from left field, Microsoft plans to hose the secondhand gaming market through some system of blocking used game discs. How? We don't know. Why? I think we know. Okay, that's it for today. For more on these stories and other news headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
All right, folks, that was your update on This Week in the Headlines, courtesy of Tom Magrino. Now, so by the look of things, it seems that we are like knee-deep into the next generation of console rumors. Maxwell, I know that you just bought like an epic new gaming PC. Do you even care at all right now about the specs in the next generation of consoles?
I mean, well, since I did just plot down some dough for a new PC,
so
right now
I'm
basking in the glow of my new computer. I will say on that rumor about the new Xbox having a Kinect integration, I would not be surprised, since when I was at the Consumer Electronics Show earlier this year, I visited a manufacturer called Soft Connect, and they had sort of a similar Kinect device, and their big thing, they were talking about how they wanted to have it integrated even into televisions.
Oh, wow.
So before you know it, you might just have it build right into the TV.
Oh.
Peter, any bold predictions about the next generation of consoles?
Bold predictions. I do think that rumor about canceling used games, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it seems weird.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. It kind of kills that community, like the sort of analog, offline community for games where they'll trade something with a friend and play it at their house, perhaps, or I don't see that happening.
And that is a surefire way to just really piss off GameStop, and that is a powerful company that you probably don't want to get on their bad side.
They're like the Vatican of the video game retailers.
Yes. Once they blacklist you, there is no way off of that blacklist. Speaking of lists, it's time to take a look at what's new in this week. Let's try that over. That was a horrible train wreck. Speaking of lists, here's our list of upcoming digital downloads.
What's up, Game Spotters? This is Aaron Sampson bringing you a list of top digital downloads this week on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Wii Shop channel. New this week on Wii Shop, you may or may not want to check out Newton vs. the Horde for 500 Wii points. Use physics to squash monsters and build traps. Yep, that's pretty much it. Monsters and traps. On PSN and XBL, hey, we've already got a review up. It's Scary Girl, $9.99 or 800 Microsoft points. This 6.0 fair scoring title has a creepy but fun atmosphere, satisfying collectible upgrades, and challenging platforming. Downsides included cheap combat and sloppy controls. Scary Girl is based on a graphic novel featuring bizarre themes that you can experience solo or with a friend in co-op. Curious? There's a demo. Switching to XBL, set off a word war with Quarrel for 400 Microsoft points. Assault your friends with words worse than a Baldwin on an American Airlines flight. Want to see if all that e-reading has helped your vocabulary? There's a demo. Next is Puddle for 800 Microsoft points. Live a day in the life of a puzzle-solving blob of liquid. Hey, it beats playing with mercury in the basement. Ask your parents. Old but newly available this week on PSN. Finish your homework. Then pick up Mortal Kombat for $49.99. This 8.5 great scoring title was nominated as Best Fighting Game of 2011 and made new Master Squeamish across the country. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. PSN and XBL present a game that took 15 years to make, got savaged by critics, and still managed to turn a profit. It's Duke Nukem Forever. If you'd like to save this 3.0 bad scoring title from a life of obscurity, it will only cost you one easy payment of $19.99. Act now, and XBL will throw in a second copy for $19.99. Next Game Demos is the place to be this week, with PSN letting you play the Gotham City Imposters beta and the Darkness 2 demo. On XBL, old titles, new demos, it's Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine and Power Up Heroes. PSN and XBL will both let you stomp on some face. It's the UFC Undisputed 3 demo. In new DLC this week on PSN and XBL, Assassin's Creed Revelation gets the Mediterranean map pack for $9.99 or 800 Microsoft points. Be sure to check out our new trailer toast segments where you will learn fun facts such as the Sienna map encourages players to keep both their boots on the ground. On XBL, it's kill time. Call of Duty Elite maps drop this week, including Liberation and Piazza. These maps will become available in March for anyone who didn't want to spend $60 for a game, $60 for an Xbox Live subscription, and $50 for Elite membership. If it makes you feel any better, Microsoft probably shelled out a crud ton of money to get these maps first. In game trailers, PSN is giving you a look-see at FIFA Soccer for Vita and Wipeout 2048, also for the Vita. XBL is showing you trailers on SSX, UFC Undisputed 3, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 13, and Resident Evil 6. Finally, XBL and PSN are both giving you your weekly hit of Hitman Absolution. That's all the time we have. Join us next week for our top picks of digital downloads.
All right, folks, I know what you're thinking. Those were some great-looking games, but they're just not fighting games. Well, we have the solution to your woes. We've got Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Maxwell and Peter, our resident fighting game experts.
Not nearly enough punching in those clips that we saw.
These two are back, and by that I mean they have not left the couch.
By that you mean you have trapped us here.
By that I mean
we are not allowed to leave.
You in my dungeon of information. I call it an info dungeon.
The power of the host.
It's the power of the host's chair. And also, technically against the law.
Yeah.
Now, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a video game about Street Fighter characters, Tekken characters, and the love that binds them together.
Growing up, I would sit at home alone, of course, and I'd have my candles out and my parchment and quill, and I would think to myself, gosh, what if Ryu from Street Fighter and Nina from Tekken went on a date?
Ooh.
And then what if I showed up as well and we had a magical adventure? It gets kind of weird, like in the later part.
That is how Edgar Allan Poe wrote fan fiction.
Yeah, hey, I study the best.
All right, now let's stop rambling and actually show the game. I'm gonna put down a polite request. I don't care who you guys pick, as long as those characters are Zangief and Kuma on one team, and Bob and Rufus on the other.
Peter, which team do you want?
I'll let you do Zangief. You like the big ugly.
I do. I'll take Zangief and Kuma in that case.
Paul and Rufus, you said?
Yeah. Oh, before we get too far ahead, if I hit the start button here, I'll select Kuma. Oh, there we go. It brings up, so you can change, a big thing that I'm really excited about that's pretty convenient is you can change your button configuration on the character select screen in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. They announced this earlier this week. It's definitely a really convenient thing to have because when you go to tournaments and you watch people play, the first thing they always have to do is like a button check round where like they'll just pick some characters, they'll jump in, they'll change all their buttons, they'll run around for a little bit, spar, and just make sure everything works. Now the process has been expedited just a little bit.
Where's my boy Rufus?
Which I appreciate. Rufus, he's over there next to Zangief, in between Zangief and Ryu.
Bob and...
Oh, you want Bob?
Yeah, Bob and Zangief. Or not,
no,
Bob and Rufus.
Bob and Rufus. Also, somehow you picked Paul.
I thought Paul was requested.
So while he's getting that all squared away, so you've got the gems in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of them before, but just in case, the gems affect your character in subtle ways. You have attack gems, which are red that you see here. You have defense gems, which are yellow, speed gems. You also have these pink assist gems that make certain commands easier, and blue meter gems that'll affect your meter gain. These are just the preset sets of gems, so I'm just going to go with attack for both my guys. But there's a special screen, of course, that perhaps we can show after this match where you can go and customize what sort of gems you want to have.
All right.
Each gem has like a special activation condition. Some of them, if they're really strong, they have drawbacks.
I think they all have drawbacks, right?
The ones that are like the lowest tier, they just give you like 10% defense or 10% attack. Those don't have any drawbacks as far as I know. But once you get into like the 20 and 30% gems, those do incur penalties. So we'll get to more on that later. Right now, jump in here and do some face punching.
His teammate is a bear.
He wrestles bears. It's appropriate.
And they're two fat guys.
And there's the theme for this team is two big fat guys.
Two big dudes and two hairy monsters.
So one of the funny things about this game, I mean, there's obviously a lot of funny things about this game, but if there are official teams that you can pick. So like, let's see, what was an official team? Like Ken and Ryu.
Okay.
They're official
makes
partners.
sense.
Yeah. And so like in the little character startup screen there where they have their little introductions, they'll have actually a special little cinematic that'll play where they sort of, you know, tell jokes or play off of each other or whatever.
Now, is there a gameplay bonus?
No, it's just a thing to add a little extra character to the game.
Like to show that they've got a history and chemistry together?
Yes.
Not to say that Zangief and Kuma don't have.
They also have a special history together, but it might be one of animosity.
Yeah,
really,
and it's more technically poaching, I think, is the history.
God, Kuma looks like a maniac in this game with those teeth. Goodness. So in this game, if one of your characters runs out of life, which is something that happens in a fighting game, you lose the match, even if your other character still had a ton of life left.
Okay, so it's not like Marvel vs. Capcom,
where
your
you
first
can
character dies and your next one comes in?
Yeah, you can just keep going and going until you run out. No, yeah, if one of them goes down, you lose the round and you go on to the next bout. Look at this.
Fancy.
Look at
I
this
love
game.
it so much.
So you always have to keep that in mind. So with that in mind, they want you to really treat your two teammates as just sort of one character instead of thinking of them as two separate people. So they always want you to be switching and tagging, and the easiest way to do that is with these, I forget what the official term is, but I just call it a dial-a-combo.
Dial-a-combo?
Light, medium, heavy. Here, Peter, you want to do a dial-a-combo on me here? Remember, you gotta hit heavy attack twice. So it's light, medium, heavy, heavy. Let me see. There we go. Light, medium, heavy, heavy, and it will automatically end an attack. Your next partner will come out, and they can continue the attack as well.
Okay.
I just chose that.
Now, otherwise, you would have to hold down the medium kick and medium punch button?
Yes, you can raw tag by hitting medium kick.
Raw
medium
tag?
Punch. Raw tag.
That is.
Where you just tag.
How come that wasn't in the vocabulary?
You just tag all willy-nilly.
Because that sounds filthy.
Raw tag is a little bit filthy. It's dangerous.
Yeah, risky.
Yeah, you better believe raw tagging is dangerous.
Because you leave the person you're tagging in open to a counter attack.
Yeah, because you have to.
Because it's raw.
Because you need like 2 seconds of not taking any damage. Right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of recovery. So like if I just raw tag out Zangief, see he just runs out and boom, gets kicked in the face. So not the best idea. You can also
Zangief looks like a dude who's into raw tagging. If you
just
catch
on the
my
weekend.
drift.
Yeah,
on the weekends. Never tells
He's
his
a raw
wife.
tag, yeah. His wife is a bear.
There's a bear named Kuma.
Oh no!
It's legal in
Be
Russia.
an official team.
It's legal in Russia.
You can also tag cancel, so like if you're doing a fancy move and you hit, I think it's like back in the two medium buttons together, it costs a little bit of the meter, which we didn't go into, but that will also tag in your other teammate as your first teammate is finishing their attack. It's a little bit trickier, but you can build some crazy combos out of that. I'm gonna go back to the main menu here.
Yeah, I'll let you guys pick characters you're more familiar with. I just wanted to have the Zangief, Kuma, Bob, Rufus
tag team. That was your dream matchup.
I wanted to start with that because it's really the ideal scenario in a game like this.
I think I may have some fan fiction you might be interested in.
Your quill and parchment.
My quill and
fiction?
parchment. So if we go here to the customize menu, there's a couple of things I'd like to point out that are pretty fun. There's a character color editor. You can change the colors of your character. Capcom has said that they will be releasing. The palette's pretty limited right now, but Capcom has said that they will be releasing free color updates that have additional colors. So yeah, if you want to change your clothes, your pants, or whatever. Right now it's sort of like red, and then there's less red and black and white. So it's a little boring right now, but more colors to come. Let's back out of that real quick. We'll go to the next bit of customization fun.
Just a reminder, Cynthia is taking your questions from the chat room and Twitter. Feel free to tweet at GameSpot, and you might have your question read live on the air and possibly even answered, though no guarantees.
A crutch that I really like to lean on right now that I really should use more are these quick combos.
Okay.
So this is sort of a tool to help newer players. Basically, they're performed by either hitting, let's see, light punch and heavy kick, or light kick and heavy punch, as you see here. The list doesn't seem entirely complete right now, but basically you can go in and you can assign like a string of moves to be performed when you input one of those shortcuts. It does cost a section of meter, so you can't just do it for free, but it's just sort of there to help newer players perform combos easily.
One of our YouTube readers is wondering, where's Wesker?
Where's Wesker? Wesker's currently holding it down in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as continuing to be one of the strongest, most dominating characters in that game.
Now, the distinction that we should make is that that's Marvel vs. Capcom, whereas this is Street Fighter vs. Tekken.
Yes.
So you only have Street Fighter characters,
have
right? You don't have people from the greater Capcom universe?
I mean, the only...
Final Fight.
Yeah, well, not in that... Are they Final Fight?
Oh yeah, Hugo and.
Oh yeah, that's
Poison.
true. I guess Hugo is. I always consider him
Rolento
a Third Strike character because that's where I know him from. But yeah, Poison, Hugo, Rolento, Cody, and Guy.
You can, I mean, you can imagine that Wesker has suffered a terrible disease that's turned him into a man bear.
A man bear.
And he has since changed his name to.
Oh, let's see if you can do. Okay.
Kuma. Wes Kuma.
So right now we're looking at the gem customization screen here. This is what I mentioned earlier. So you collect these special gems that can modify your character stats in certain ways. So like this one gives me plus 10% for 20 seconds. It's activated when I block 5 attacks. Or maybe perhaps the opponent blocks 5 attacks. Not entirely sure. See if we can find a more powerful one. This one plus 30%. Activates when I go into a Pandora state. So I guess it doesn't really have a drawback because it's only useful during Pandora. But yeah, they all have special activation conditions and levels that you can unlock, and you can equip up to 3 of them at a time.
Somebody is asking...
Oh, you want to see Yoshimitsu?
Yeah, Yoshimitsu.
Oh yeah, sure. I really like Yoshimitsu actually. I was playing around with him a little bit yesterday. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, why not? We've only got a minute or two left.
All right, I'll jump in real quick. We'll show some Yoshimitsu.
Let's show some rapid fire Yoshimitsu.
Boom. Oh, also, yeah, it's got a la Mortal Kombat, a la the recent Mortal Kombat. You can play tag team with a friend. So like Peter and I could be on the same team, and so we can tag back and forth between each other if we wanted to do that.
If I actually like one.
If we, I mean, we hate each other in real life.
Theoretically speaking, if you guys enjoyed each other's company and did not despise each other on a fundamental level,
that's why they make us sit next to each other.
You could tag team.
That is GameSpot policy. So I'm gonna pick Yoshimitsu, Kami. I'm gonna put defense gems on Yoshimitsu since he's leading.
Does Yoshimitsu remind anybody else of the aliens from Independence Day? The one that Will Smith punches in the face and says
"Welcome to Earth." Actually,
technically he says Earth. That is a common myth. He does not say Earth.
Does he even say "Welcome to Earth"?
He says "Welcome to Earth." TH.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if he said that.
Urban legend.
Urban internet
legend. He doesn't say Earth.
The Yoshimitsu outfit, actually reminiscent of his Tekken 3 outfit, which I know a lot of people like. He personally, I always thought he had kind of a Predator look to him.
Like a
maybe without
like
he didn't
alien
have like
Predator or like the other kind.
No, like
like To Catch a Predator.
No, well maybe under the mask perhaps, but no,
under the mask maybe.
On the outside, it was definitely like the Alien versus Predator. Predator. One of my favorite things with Yoshimitsu is to get neck broken. And to get hit with kunais. Is this move right here, the reverse fireball on punch. It's this, he spins his sword around, it draws the other person in, does a bunch of hits, and it's great for doing those tag cancels that I mentioned earlier, just because the animation takes so long. You can also charge it up, and he sort of has a variant on that when you jump into somebody and use heavy attack. He spins the sword around like that. That's a lot of fun. Good for jumping in on people. I think we're getting a question in from the chat.
Oh yeah, is the roster for this game set for release?
So the roster screen that you guys just saw is not the final roster. There is another set of characters on the way.
All right.
All of the fighting mechanics have been implemented into the game, so there's not going to be any more special systems or things for you to worry about. Oh man, I'm going to get... Oh no, I didn't get chipped out. Gotta switch over to Candy. Yoshimitsu's doing bad. But yeah, so there is another round of characters. A lot of you may remember that that Cody and Guy were teased at the end of the trailer that showed off Hugo and Poison. They've yet to be officially announced, but I'd say that's a pretty safe bet.
All right.
Also, like, they haven't shown off M. Bison yet in gameplay form. He was shown off in a cinematic trailer, but we haven't seen him implemented in the game yet. So yeah, there are definitely characters to come.
All right, sounds good. So this has been your update on Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Now we're going to throw it to a really interesting segment. We recently had a contest in which people would submit video entries in order to go to E3 this year on behalf of GameSpot and be an official guest of ours, and maybe possibly be put to work and have to stay up until 4 a.m. Cutting video or writing previews. I don't know. I'm not sure on the specifics of that. So a lot of people submitted their entries, and here is sort of a greatest hits mashup of those. Let's take a look.
I am a ninja from the past.
Alright, hello GameSpot. My name is Brad Davis and I'm applying for your E3 2012 contest.
Hi GameSpot. My name is Sandra and I'm a gamer.
Hi, my name is Christine and this is Angelica, and we are students at the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, and we're studying 3D computer animation.
My name is David Klingler. I've been obsessed with games since I was very little.
I believe you should send me to this year's E3, not because I'm the most skilled gamer or have the biggest gaming collection, but because I know what gaming's really about.
Hi, I'm Marcel. You might remember me from such short videos as How to Build a Video Review.
And you'll need a port like this one here.
This is it. This. Who's there?
Here's a picture of me and my cousin back about 20 years ago playing the Amiga.
Hello GameSpot. This is Ken Pereira, also known as Rushdown on GameSpot.com. I've been a member since 2004, and I made the guitar out of a shoebox.
I prepared a special song. Nyan 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 nyan.
That last one was magical. I hope somebody out there makes an animated GIF of that and then just maybe puts it all over the internet. Anyways, those were some of the best entries. In a moment, we're going to show you the winning entry, but first we've got another reader question from Cynthia, and the question is, if you could be any fighter from any game, who would you be and why?
Oh, goodness.
That is a tough question.
That is a tough question.
Think fast.
I would want some sort of fighter that could summon minions, because I like to have minions to do my bidding.
Okay.
So the only one that comes to mind is Quan Chi, but he's kind of a crazy murderous person, but he can mind control people.
I'm going to answer your question for you. Voldo.
Voldo.
Peter, who would you be?
Scorpion.
You would be Scorpion?
I prefer not to have actual face. I have a skull that shoots flames.
Okay.
That's pretty useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be Dalsim because he looks like he's in really good condition. He does a lot of yoga.
Yeah.
And his arms stretch really long,
Yeah.
and that's a useful skill.
I mean, that's like what, level 11 of yoga class? I've never been to a yoga class, but I imagine it's divided up into video
yoga
game
classes
style
are
levels.
exactly like role-playing games.
Yeah,
they give you experience points and levels.
I'm glad to know that the reality is how I imagine.
Unfortunately, you cannot re-roll your character.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
they really need to patch that in.
Yeah.
So now it's time to take a look at the winning entry for our My First E3 contest. Congratulations, Josh Wittenkeller. Here's your video.
When there's a competition, make a music video. That is what they say, right?
I wanna go to E3. I want that guy to be me. I got no credentials, but it's potential. I don't care. I wanna go to E3 and learn about the industry. So please, GameSpot, I'm asking a lot, but take me there. Ever since I was a child, I had a dream that I'd be watching E3 and not just on an online stream. I'd be in a crowd full of other journalists that are just like me. Then I'd be writing up articles and just enjoy the scene. I'd sit in line even if it takes every second of my freaking day, just to see all the hottest games for years I've dreamed to play. Now everybody hush up, move aside and clear the way. Over there in the back I see it's Reggie Fils-Aimé. Nah, just kidding, looks like he was just a spy. But that's alright cause I'm looking at Metal Gear Solid 5. And I'll see if Half-Life 3 is real or just a lie. Just bring me down to E3, keep my lifelong dream alive. I wanna go to E3. I want that guy to be me. I got no credentials, but it's potential. I don't care. I wanna go to E3 and learn about the industry. So come on, Chevy, I'm asking plenty, but take me there. I don't just play games, I am breathing them. Ever since the Diablo, I've been spellcasting our demons. Ever since the Silent Hill franchise had us all screaming. Ever since video game consoles had 60 bits. It's ridiculous, I think it's a mystery. Even Professor Layton couldn't try and top my history. And once you're out of Arkham, Batman, come and riddle this for me. What kind of world is fair to try and keep all this from me? I beat Majora's Mask in just 3 in-game days. I beat Super Meat Boy No Deaths, and I'm not even phased. I'm a speed gamer, and I'll leave you amazed. I beat Demon Souls in boom, 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 bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, boom, boom. I wanna go to E3. I want that guy to be me. I got no credentials, but it's potential. I don't care. I wanna go to E3 and learn about the industry. So please, GameSpot, I'm asking a lot, but take me there. Take me there.
Thanks for watching. Have a great holiday season, and hopefully I'll see you at E3.
No, I'll see you at E3, Josh. See what I did there?
Yeah, you just have the zinger right
he
there.
said a thing, and then I said a similar thing.
It was like you were talking to him.
But back at
but
him.
It was different, because it was pre-recorded.
It was yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty good.
That was actually really
Josh,
very entertaining.
Josh, you've got some talent.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to E3, so congratulations, your hard work paid off. Now, guys, it's the end of the show, but first, we're going to give away some cool stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The first thing that we're going to be giving away are 10 download tokens for the new Gears of War 3 Phoenix Rising map packs. In order to win those, you have to correctly answer the following trivia question. And that question is, who are the 4 members of Zeta Squad featured in the Ram's Shadow DLC, the most recent Gears of War 3 DLC? If you can name all 4 of those, you win. Go ahead and send us an email to onthespot@gamespot.com or click that little answer trivia button on the page right here, assuming that you are currently watching this live. Now, that's not the only trivia giveaway that we have. We've also got this mug right here. You can put any number of liquids in it.
I think that mug could hold an amount of liquids.
This could definitely hold an amount of liquids. Plus, as you can tell, It's got a very, shall we say, interesting handle on it.
In no way should you ever break off that handle.
No, never.
And use it for other purposes, such as a paperweight.
Such as a paperweight. That would be bad because then you would hold the cup like this and burn yourself.
And what if it's got a hot, delicious beverage?
Yeah.
inside?
What if it's got like a hot
cocoa,
like a hot Earl Grey
cocoa.
tea?
Yeah.
With extra hot.
With the hot crystals in
hot
there, they put
mushrooms
extra
in it. Yeah. Is that what you do in Earl? I don't drink Earl Grey tea. I assume you put hot mushrooms.
Yeah, you just put mushrooms. I mean, at least in Arkansas, that's what we did.
All right.
We put mushrooms in
all
our
right.
food.
If you want to win a chance to drink tea like Maxwell did in Arkansas, answer the following question. According to a recent interview that yours truly did with Dan Houser, who would he want to direct a GTA movie? You're going to have to go searching the site for that one and submit your answer the same way. Send an email to onthespot@gamespot.com or click that little answer trivia button on the page right here. Make sure to include your mailing address if you want us to actually mail this to you, which you probably want because it's a pretty sweet mug,
You
right?
can just fax it.
Or you could,
It's
we
the
can
future.
fax. I mean,
It's
this
in
is the
2012.
future. We have jetpacks, floating cars, and we can fax.
And we can
mugs.
fax objects. Just like in Blade Runner.
Just like. Have you seen Blade Runner?
I've seen
that whole movie is basically about origami.
Yeah, pretty
there's
much.
like really no faxing.
It's about robot
at all.
animals.
Robot animals.
Robot animals. Or at least the book. We're getting way off
Before
topic here.
Before we get too off topic, I want to mention a few things that we have coming up on the site. Let's see. Later today, we're going to have a Ghost Recon Future Soldier feature going up, which showcases a whole bunch of gameplay videos. So if you're wondering what that game looks like after all these delays, you can take a look and your answer will be provided. Tomorrow, we've got a Dirt Showdown demo. Dirt Showdown is sort of an interesting arcadey spin-off of the Dirt franchise, which is all about leaderboards and high points and smashing into other cars, and it actually looks really cool. So take a look at that tomorrow. And in a few weeks, we are going to have a Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City tournament here in the GameSpot offices. That's going on February 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. And also, Cynthia is telling me that we should probably announce the trivia winners from last week.
They might want to know about
Cynthia, I'll do that right now. Our winners from last week are Raimundo G. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Raimundo. Kyle Y, Georgina P, and Nate C.
My boy Nate C.
My boy Nate C.
Nate C.
You're going to win a thing that I can't remember because that was like a week ago. That was a week ago. I can't remember anything.
We had the Shank statue and like the Sonic Generations stuff. So it would be some of those things.
You just won some amount of items. So Sonic, Cynthia's telling me that you won Sonic. Congratulations, Nate C. Anyways,
we love you, Nate.
That's our show. Hopefully Chris will be back next week once he's sort of taking care of his malaria, his rollerblading injury, and his being unstuck in time.
Yeah, that's
thing.
really. I think that one's probably going to be the hardest.
During
out
a break,
of the
I
three.
heard that he got a case of space rabies.
Ooh,
which is
the implications are troubling on that.
Anyways, that does it for this week's show. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm your host, Shaun McInnis. Here we've got Maxwell McGee, and over there we've got Peter Brown. Thanks a lot for checking out On the Spot for this week.